Welcome to Black Tie Kitchen. My name is Dennis, and in this episode, I'm going to show you how to make these incredibly easy to make, mouth-watering jalapeno poppers that are low-carb friendly, keto friendly, and quite possibly one of the most delicious foods you will ever eat in your life. So what do we need for ingredients? We need between 7 and 9 jalapenos. Keep in mind we're going to cut these in half, so it's going to be double what you purchased. We will also need cream cheese, a pound of bacon, a cookie sheet, kitchen scissors, a knife, aluminum foil, a spoon, small container or a ramekin, toothpicks, and most importantly, gloves. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our little toothpicks with the ramekin, we're gonna soak them in water. That way it kind of prevents them from burning when we put them in the oven. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our bacon in half. Now, you can use the entire slice, but it ends up being almost too much bacon. So that's what we're gonna use our scissors for. See, I have a pound of bacon here. Go right down the middle. Put these in the sink. We'll set that aside. Now, the reason we have these gloves is because we're gonna be handling jalapenos, and if you've ever handled jalapenos, ended up touching your eye or going to the bathroom, you understand why we're gonna use gloves. We're just gonna cut off the stem and cut them down the middle. Do that for all of them. So now we're basic to de-stem these. We're gonna take a bowl and we're just gonna go down the middle of it with the spoon. We dump them in another bowl. You want to make sure you clean up around the area too. You can see I have seeds everywhere. So let's take our cookie tray. Now, if you don't have big enough aluminum foil to go to the sides, I'm going to show you this little trick. We go this way. We're going to piece like this and another piece. Take those and put them together. We're simply going to fold them over along that center line. 2 or 3 times should suffice. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna help you clean up a little bit easier because you're not gonna have that spill of the bacon fat. And now it's perfect. Now, the one reason we're actually only making 9 jalapenos is because if you fill this up too much, the amount of fat rendered by the bacon, it's basically gonna be too much and it's gonna take a lot longer for your poppers to cook. It's also a pain in the ass to clean up afterward because it is that much more grease. So you're basically gonna take a jalapeno, some cream cheese, put it right in the middle. You don't want too much because you don't want it to spill over when it's cooking. Wrap it in a piece of bacon. And put a toothpick through it. Now, you can do this without toothpicks, but what's gonna happen is that the bacon is gonna curl up as it cooks. And as a result, it's gonna end up unwinding, you're gonna have a mess. So use a toothpick. And that's basically it. You don't need to salt this, you don't need to pepper it. There's enough salt in the bacon, and there's enough sweetness in the pepper and the cream cheese that it's very well balanced, and you don't need to be anything crazy about it. Now you can get a little more crazy and start adding garlic and that kind of stuff, but that just increases the work factor, which means it increases the amount of time between you and eating these delicious jalapeno poppers. Now this is gonna go into a 425-degree oven for anywhere between 40 minutes and an hour and a half. The reason that time varies so much is because it depends how much fat is rendered out of the bacon. The more fat, the longer it takes to cook. The other reason is it depends how crispy brown you want your bacon. I prefer mine pretty crispy, so it's probably gonna be in the oven for about an hour and 15 minutes. So these have been cooling for a little bit. You see they're very crispy. That's exactly how I like them. You saw a very simple recipe to make. Pairs well with beer, any sort of other finger food you're gonna have if you're watching a football game or a baseball game or you're just eating low carb. This is a delicious recipe. And I'm gonna grab one of these. Very delicious food. I highly recommend it, especially if you're on keto or low carb. It's just a phenomenal recipe, hot or cold. Just remember not to eat the toothpick because that doesn't digest very well. Thanks for tuning in to Black Tie Kitchen. My name is Dennis, and until next time, eat well. It's something you don't want. If I can get these things into my hand.